I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. According to Wikipedia, the Andrew Doria was a brig purchased by the Continental Congress in November 1775. She is most famous for her participation in the Battle of Nassau, the first amphibious engagement by the Continental Navy and the Continental Marines, and for being the first United States vessel to receive a salute from a foreign power. On the 13th of October, 1775, the Continental Congress authorized the purchase of the merchant brig Defiance. The ship was acquired in mid-November and moored in Wharton and Humphreys shipyard in Philadelphia, where she was converted into a warship by Joshua Humphreys, who did the hull strengthening, John Barry, who did re-rigging, and John Falconer, who did the ordnance and provisioning. She was named Andrew Doria after the 16th century Genoese admiral Andrea Doria. Under the command of Captain Nicholas Biddle, Andrew Doria departed Philadelphia on the 4th of January, 1776, as a warship in Esek Hopkins' small fleet of 5 newly fitted warships, Alfred, Andrew Doria, Cabot, Columbus, and Providence, bound for Chesapeake Bay between the 11th and the 17th of February. The fleet was joined by the small sloop Fly, the sloop Hornet, and the schooner Wasp. On the 17th of February, 1776, Hopkins decided to take advantage of the discretion offered to him and skip his missions in the Chesapeake Bay and along the coasts of the Carolinas. Instead, he took the fleet to the Bahamas for a raid on the island of New Providence to seize a large supply of gunpowder reportedly stored in the 2 forts that protected Nassau. On the 1st of March, the fleet reached the coast of Abaco Island, where the ship Alfred captured 2 small sloops, and Hopkins obtained intelligence from the prisoners that New Providence lay undefended. Hopkins planned to take Nassau by frontal assault, slipping his landing party of 270 sailors and Marines into the harbor hidden on board the captured sloops. It was hoped that the American troops would not be detected until the landing and assault on Fort Nassau had begun. Success in this endeavor would enable the fleet to enter the harbor while the fort guns, then in American hands, held the town at bay. The Marines and sailors embarked on the 2 captured sloops on the evening of the 2nd of March and headed for New Providence, hoping to arrive at daybreak. While following the sloops, the fleet attempted to remain out of sight until the landing party had secured the fort. Andrew Doria, popularly referred to as the Black Brig, outdistanced her consorts and found it necessary to lay to until the other American warships caught up. On the troop-carrying sloops headed into the harbor, Fort Nassau's guns opened fire. The shot fell short but demonstrated that the American fleet had been detected and that its intentions had been surmised. Hopkins recalled his ships. After conferring with his officers, Hopkins decided to land his troops 2 miles down the coast from Fort Montague, which protected the eastern approaches to Nassau. The Marines and sailors went ashore on the 3rd of March and marched to Fort Montague, whose garrison surrendered without offering any real resistance. On the 4th of March, the Americans took Fort Nassau and the town of Nassau. The fleet remained for almost 2 weeks, dismantling the guns of the forts and loading the captured materiel. During this stay, large numbers of the crew of each ship were stricken by a virulent fever. This complicated an already serious health problem caused by an outbreak of smallpox on all of the ships, except for Andrew Doria, whose crew had been protected by inoculation, due to the far-sighted insistence of Nicholas Biddle. As a result of the crew's immunization, Andrew Doria was selected to serve as a hospital ship for the fleet, and continued in this role from the remainder of the expedition. On the 16th of March, Hopkins' fleet departed Nassau and headed north. Shortly after midnight on the 6th of April, 1776, a lookout on Andrew Doria sighted 2 vessels to the southeast. Biddle passed the word of the discovery to Hopkins, who ordered the fleet to head for the strangers. The larger of the unidentified ships was headed toward the Americans, and before long she was within hailing distance and identified herself as, quote, His Majesty's ship of war, Glasgow. A broadside from Cabot into the British frigate opened a fierce fight in which the American ships were unable to fight as a squadron. In attempting to avoid a salvo from Glasgow, Cabot crossed Andrew Doria's bow, forcing Biddle's brig into a port track, which avoided collision but took her away from the action. Meanwhile, Alfred and Columbus, Hopkins' largest warships, took on Glasgow but received worse punishment than they inflicted. As the crew of Andrew Doria worked the ship into position to re-enter the engagement and opened fire, Glasgow's captain realized he was overmatched and decided to stand off to the northward. Andrew Doria followed at a distance by her consorts, gave chase, and kept up a running fight with her bow chasers until recalled by Hopkins, lest Glasgow lead his fleet into a Royal Navy squadron then operating in Rhode Island waters. When the American fleet had reformed, it retired to New London, Connecticut, where it arrived on the morning of the 8th of April. From the 9th of April to the 17th of September, 1776, Andrew Doria patrolled the Atlantic coast from Connecticut to Bermuda, capturing a number of British and Loyalist ships. Captain Biddle anchored his brig at Chester, Pennsylvania, on the evening of the 17th of September, ending his last cruise on the warship, as he has been selected to command Randolph, one of the 4 new frigates being built in Philadelphia for the Continental Navy. Captain Isaiah Robinson took command of the Andrew Doria. Robinson sailed Andrew Doria down the Delaware River on the 17th of October, 1776, for a voyage to the West Indies to obtain a cargo of munitions and military supplies at the Dutch island of St. Eustatius. When the brig reached the island on the 16th of November, she fired a 13-gun salute and received a reply from Fort Orange, the first salute to an American flag on board an American warship in a foreign port. Andrew Doria also carried a copy of the Declaration of Independence to the island. The so-called, quote, first salute was widely reported in the United States at the time, and later provided the title for Barbara Tuchman's 1988 book, The First Salute, A View of the American Revolution. On her way back to the Delaware River, Andrew Doria encountered the ship HMS Racehorse, of 10 guns and under the command of Commander James Jones. A 2-hour single-ship action ensued before Racehorse struck. Andrew Doria had lost 4 men, killed, and 8 wounded. Casualties on Racehorse apparently were higher. Andrew Doria encountered a British snow and assigned Joshua Barney to return the ship to Philadelphia, but was captured with a foul rudder off of Chincoteague by HMS Perseus. The captain released Barney on pardon in Charleston to return to Philadelphia on foot over 19 days. Andrew Doria returned to Philadelphia where the Continental Navy acquired Racehorse, which it named Surprise. Andrew Doria was stationed in Delaware River through the spring and summer of 1777 after Vice Admiral Lord Howe brought his British fleet into the river in September 1777. Andrew Doria was part of the forces charged with defending Philadelphia. Following the British occupation of Fort Mifflin on the 16th of November, Andrew Doria, with the remaining ships of the Continental Navy, sought shelter under the guns of Fort Mercer at Red Bank, New Jersey. With the evacuation of Fort Mercer on the 20th of November, Robinson gave orders the next day for the ships to be burned to prevent capture. This was done shortly thereafter.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.